Stumbled at the start line, I've done all that I can do, but I'll try again.
Hey guys, I'm back after a 2-week hiatus. We had coronavirus go through our house. Me, my wife, my kids, all got it. Only my eldest son managed to stave it off. So I was feeling quite miserable for quite a while. I've ran a couple of times over the last few days, but really easy, really slow. And then I did a strength and conditioning class 2 days ago. I was teaching online, and then I'm crippled after that. So all in all, I'm feeling pretty low at the moment. But hey, it's the end of the year and the new year kicks off tomorrow. So just before I wrap off the year in terms of videos, I'm just going to talk today about the 2 primary ways you can go about working on a running injury or any sort of injury or pain. Before I got struck down on my prime by the coronavirus, I had a bit of a hamstring strain, and I was talking about how I would go about rehabbing it, but that seems fine now. So what I'm going to do in today's video is just give anybody out there a very brief outline of the 2 approaches you can use when you have a running injury. It's a very complicated subject, especially when there's pain. Pain is very complicated, but what I'm going to do today is just explain the 2 ways that you can go about it. You can either choose a pain-focused form of rehab, which I think 99% of people do, and that's due to the fault of the profession of physios, osteos, chiros, massage, personal trainers, and anybody else who's giving advice to any sort of athlete. And then the second approach will be a factored approach, and where you try to identify and address the factors that are causing the pain and not specifically on the pain itself.
But I'll try again, I'll try again.
An approach that would factor mainly on pain would be the kind of person who thinks, I can't run because if I run I'm going to get X amount of pain, or somebody who's thinking, I need to do X, Y or Z in order to eliminate my pain, or I can't go running until I'm pain free. So they're all kind of the idioms of pain centered rehab, or focusing on pain, or trying to get rid of the pain. And the kind of things you can do if you are a pain centered rehabber would be stuff like foam rolling to try and loosen out or break up any scar tissue, getting dry needling for something like anterior knee pain or plantar fasciitis, so thinking that the dry needling is going to take away your pain. Other things like using massage guns, saying like, I can't go out on this run because I got to get this loosened up with my massage gun, I got to take the tension or tightness out of the muscle, otherwise I'm going to get pain. So that's all pain centered approach, and we know from research that focusing on pain yields the worst results. You might get rid of the pain for a little while, but 9 times out of 10 that pain's going to come roaring back in a couple of weeks or a couple of months.
Stay on the straight and narrow.
So that first approach, the elimination of pain approach to rehab, it's quite cool, it's quite sexy, it's quite what I call Instagrammable. Every time I go on Instagram I see different athletes foam rolling, massage guns, needles sticking out of their foot or their back or their neck, all with the caption, you know, I do this to get rid of my pain, you know, this is going to get rid of this, or this is going to fix this, or I'm going to fix myself. And you can't fix something that's not broken. It's kind of the message I would like to get anybody watching this to get. If you think that pain is caused by a dysfunction in your body or some sort of tissue damage, and that the tissue damage is what's causing the pain, well, that's a very, very outdated model. It's what we call the biomedical model, and we've known for about 45 years that that model is well, first of all, out of date, but not very reliant, and leads to the poorest outcomes. So if you are somebody who's struggling with a running type injury and you're using the biomedical model, then your outcomes are going to be really poor.
I'll try again, I'll try again. stay on the straight and narrow. We'll meet up at the end.
The second type of approach you can use in terms of treating injuries is what we call the factor focused, or by working on factors that contribute or lead to your pain. Leads to much better outcomes in terms of getting recovery and getting back to full activity, whatever that activity is you do. So the sort of things that I will be thinking about here in terms of the factor focused approach will be making sure that you get a consistent amount of sleep every night. So 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night obviously would be ideal according to research. Try to tidy up your diet. So if you are experiencing an episode where you have a flare-up of an injury, making sure that you're getting plenty of water in, making sure that you're kind of getting some good nutrients in. You know, I'd be tending to look towards some sort of plant-based food if you can. Obviously if you want to eat, if you eat meat and stuff like that, that's good, but just try and tidy up your diet for a little while you're getting over the injury, and then making sure that you are consistent with whatever it is you're doing. So consistency is really key for lots of different things, but in terms of coming back from injury, it's really important. So if it is running that you're doing, so trying to get out and do a little bit of running, just be consistent and take it really slow and really easy. Or if you can't run, just try and get out and do some consistency with walking. And if you're doing any sort of ancillary stuff like foam rolling or massage gun, or going to get some sort of dry needling, try to be consistent with that. Don't just use it as a method to try and beat this pain away, because we know that that just leads to very poor outcomes, because those things can't beat the pain away. So you can kind of beat yourself up all you want with a massage gun or a foam roller, you're never going to get rid of the pain doing that. That's not to say that those instruments aren't effective. They are effective to use in terms of an overall holistic and global approach, but just using them as a kind of as Descartes would say, like a reductionist approach, saying, right, I have a tight hamstring, I'm just going to get my massage gun and just go up and down there every day for 20 minutes. You're going to get nowhere. You're going to be going around in circles, scratching your head, wondering why you're not getting any better. Some of the other things you can do as well in terms of the factor focus approach would be to make sure that you keep socializing. So if it is a running group that you're going with and now you're injured and you can't go with the group, well, trying to meet up with them afterwards when they're finished their run to have a coffee is really important, just to keep those social connections going. We know again from research that that sort of stuff is really beneficial in terms of getting past the pain, or getting to overcome the pain by getting on top of it and dealing with those factors. And then the last thing is just trying to do some meaningful activities away from what you're doing. So if you are running and you have a running injury, well, then doing some other stuff, like maybe, you know, taking your kids out for a hike, or going to the park and you bring the kids to the playground, just having some sort of, like I say, meaningful activities that you really enjoy and that you get some really nice social and emotional connection from. And again, like I said, from research, we know that that sort of stuff, doing that sort of stuff when you're injured, is like really beneficial. And I know it sounds kind of cliche and stuff like that, but you know, this sort of stuff is really simple, but unfortunately it's not really sexy and it's not really Instagrammable, you know. It's just kind of get out there and do it. So my recommendation would be to just try and incorporate that stuff into your life all the time, and that's probably the best way to stay injury free and to prolong your life in whatever sport it is you're doing. So addressing your sleep, getting your water, having some good nutrients every now and again, or as much as possible if you can, keeping up your social activities, trying to do some other meaningful activities, and trying to be consistent with everything you do. That's probably the biggest point I can give from this, is just consistency is king. That's my super simplified account of what is a very complicated subject. But look, I hope it helps you. If you can somehow find it in you to ditch the pain elimination type approach to rehab and have an approach that focuses more on the factors that are causing or leading to your pain, then I think you will have much better outcomes, and you'll have a much better year than a year of going through the peaks and troughs of injury and recovery. So I really hope that helps. If anybody is struggling with any of this stuff, or they want to find out more information, just drop me an email at runsensible@gmail.com, and I can send you any amount of research to back up what I'm talking about. Also remember, recovery is not linear, so you don't go from injured to recovered in a straight line. It'll always have peaks and troughs the whole way. So some days you might feel like you're really getting better and you can probably start to approach a good old hard session, and then the next day you might be down again, and then you can go up and down. Just take it easy as you're coming back, you know, and try to be consistent and just implement some of that stuff I said. And if you do, I guarantee you, you'll have much better outcomes than you do if you're just pain focused all the time. Anyway, happy new year guys. Thank you for watching the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like it, and any comments down below that you want to ask me about, please do. It'd be nice to get a little bit of discussion about some of these things. Anyway, happy new year.